Much, Dr. Flinchbaugh. We appreciate you spending the day with us, being able to spend with us last night, and for that wonderful capstone speech. We appreciate it. I do have now, you'll see that Paul Craig and Chuck Oddie have joined me on the stage, and it's our pleasure this year, every year we give a very special recognition to an individual from across the nation that has contributed an enormous amount of service to American and world agriculture. And turns out this year we have both a capstone speaker and a person that we would honor in that same individual. So at this time I'm going to welcome Paul Craig, who's going to tell a little bit about the Outstanding Service to Agriculture Award. And then Chuck Oddie is going to help me with the presentation of the award.
Thank you, Stan. Good morning. Each year, your association presents and recognizes an individual from the region where the annual meeting is held. This year, the Outstanding Service to American and World Agriculture Award is presented to a person, of course, from the North Central region. This award is actually one of the, if not the highest award that our association presents to an individual. I'd now like to introduce Chuck Oddie, past president of NACAA, 2011 AMPIC, facilities chairman from the great state of Kansas, to present this award.
Good to see everybody out there this morning. Paul told you a little bit about the award, and I agree, this is a great award, and it's great to be giving it to one of our own extension specialists. 29 years ago, I was a rookie county agent in Kansas, coming down here from Nebraska, and I soon became aware of this little, loud ag economist, and he scared me to death. I think maybe because he reminded me of my father. But I very quickly learned that that man sitting up there was one of the best friends a county agent could have. He had our back, whether it was working with a stubborn specialist, an extension administrator, or legislators in Topeka. He was looking out for us because he had been there. He understood what extension was all about, and that without faces in that county offices, boots on the ground in those counties, it didn't work. I've had the privilege to be at meetings across the state of Kansas with Dr. Flinchbaugh, with wheat farmers, with cattle producers, with big producers, with small farmers. He would call them by name, they would call him by name, and they would have some spirited discussions, but there was always respect going both ways. I've had the privilege to walk through the halls of Congress in Washington, D.C. with Dr. Flinchbaugh and watch senators and representatives greet him and call him by name. Dr. Flinchbaugh exemplifies what this award is all about. His hand is all over American agriculture. He loves American agriculture. And I'm, for one, am really glad that those two 4-H moms from Pennsylvania encouraged him to go back and get his master's degree and quit being a county agent, because it was to the benefit of all of us. Dr. Flinchbaugh, would you please come forward?
On behalf of the National Association of County Agriculture Agents, we're presenting the Outstanding Service to American and World Agriculture to Dr. Barry Flinchbaugh.
See, you all thought I was done speaking. I'm a sentimental old cuss. You know, it just doesn't get any better than this. To be recognized by your peers. I started out as an assistant county agriculture agent in Luzerne County, Pennsylvania in 1963. I've spent 35 years as a state specialist. Now, I'm sure Chuck and Jill and the other Kansas agents engineered this. And Chuck is right. I have, how did you put it? You always were comfortable knowing that I had your back. I've spitted a few deans and directors and presidents that didn't understand extension. And when I was done talking to them, they either understood it or they shouldn't have been the dean in the first place. And here's the bottom line. You take a good county agent that knows his community, that's tuned into the power structure, the movers and the shakers, that understands the economy and the dynamics of that community. And then you bring in a specialist from the university that's an expert on a subject. And you put those two together. And that is an unbeatable team, and one is worthless without the other. It takes both. And there's some county agents in this room, and one of them up here on the platform that knows about that. We've done it a few times. Now, why is Washington such a mess? I think it's pretty simple. There's just no leadership. There's no leadership in either political party. The wingnuts on either end are in control. And I've never seen a problem yet that a good dose of moderation wouldn't solve. Now, I'm optimistic. I will die an optimist, but I better not die tomorrow. We got some changes to make. Now, I would be less than realistic if I didn't say this. There's tough times ahead for land-grant universities and for extension. We're going to have to reinvent it. Back to the future is a great term. We're going to have to partnership more with private enterprise and depend less on government. We're going to have to set priorities. We're going to have to do more with less. Now, how are we going to straighten this mess out? The answer is leadership. The missing element today is leadership. I've watched many towns in Kansas over this 40-year period, and they would ebb and flow in terms of growth and prosperity, etc. And it always got down to leadership. And each generation needs new leadership. What we can do in extension to solve this problem is train leaders. Leadership skills. And you start with the 4-H kids. I never had a better job in my life as a county agent in Luzerne County. I would still be there. Except I had 3 matronly, wealthy 4-H club horse leaders. All three of them, if they had a broomstick, they could fly faster than a 747. And I wouldn't tell you that if they weren't all dead now, you see. Now, I would not be here. I don't think there's any question about this. Without the leadership and guidance of two crusty, tough old county agents in York County, Pennsylvania. John Smith is still alive. Unfortunately, the last time I went to see him, he didn't have any idea who I was. And just a few short years ago, I did the eulogy at Tony Dabrowski's funeral. Without them, somebody else would be getting this award today. And frankly, what they taught me was horse sense. Now, some of you probably went on the tour of the Harry S. Truman Museum. I had the privilege of spending a term on the board of the Harry S. Truman Institute. And I had the privilege of spending a Sunday morning with him many, many years ago. And Harry loved to say, all I did as president was bring in the experts, listen to the facts. This is the process I followed as a public policy specialist. They would lay out the alternatives to me and the consequences. And then I had to make the decision. And he would add, as I was making these major decisions, I simply applied horse sense, never looked back, and went and took a nap. And a news reporter said to him one morning, I understand all this, Mr. President, except, what is horse sense? And Harry grinned and said, well, it's very simple. It's something that a mule doesn't have. Now, there's too damn many mules in leadership positions today. We're going to change that in November of 12 and get some horse sense. I can't express. I don't have the words at my command. And as you know, I'm not shy or bashful to tell you how much this means. It just doesn't get any better. Thank you.